Well, hello there, Chick Chat. We're back with another Sister Wives episode. This one's
Howdy.
11.
Yes, it is titled We Used to Be Lovers.
Used to be.
Used to be. I was shocked to hear Kody talk like that still. I mean, I know you're here to apologize and everything, but let's not put the woman on blast.
I'm not surprised. Every chance he gets, he puts the woman on blast. He put her on blast about the abs.
That all she's interested in is being lovers, which, whatever. So we do start the episode off with Meri, unfortunately, and nothing against Meri. I don't want to watch her really speed date anymore.
It seems like she already found a match. Why don't we see more of that develop?
And we are going to, and they keep dangling that. And I guess that's why I'm not excited to see her go on this speed dating event. And also, I mean, you're all here because you've watched the episode. The speed dating event doesn't pan out. So I just wish they would have cut this out completely. It just shouldn't have made the editing process.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a little bit more interesting, but then when we got to the speed dating event and they didn't seem to want to mingle with anybody, they just kept to themselves and stuff. I was pretty over it at that point.
Yeah, it seemed like Meri didn't know exactly what she was signing up for. So I can give her the benefit of the doubt just slightly that maybe she was just uncomfortable and didn't know what to expect at the time. But it seemed like it was pretty easy to pick up on. I mean, they explained the process when they walked in. So even if it wasn't what you were expecting, at least know what's going on now. I wonder if maybe they thought that they couldn't interact with people until they received their matches. But by that time, half the people were paired up and they, as we'll see, didn't get any matches.
Well, it's kind of the pros and cons of going with a friend is that you get stuck with just your friend instead of putting yourself out there. Or the good thing about it is that you do have somebody else there. But yeah, it's kind of, Yeah. Why would she want to find a match in Vegas? She's already dealing with a long distance match.
Agreed. I was surprised that they were in Las Vegas. I also think, if I'm not mistaken, that whenever Kody goes and does his apology tour with Christine, I think that happens in Vegas. It looked like they were meeting somewhere in Vegas, but maybe I'm just confused.
Unless you're willing to move to Vegas or something, why go to an event like this in Vegas? And also, Vegas is a hub for so many other people too. So you could be ending up matched with somebody from New Jersey. And what are you going to travel there? I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. I mean, there was a little bit of a funny part between her and Amber when they were reading the questionnaire, asking about what their interests are and how they like to have relations and things like that. And at first I thought that they were both put off by the question, but I think Amber is spicier than Meri.
I think most people are.
Well, yes, but I think like considerably. I think she answered on the high end of that scale.
Meri answered a 1 because she doesn't know what that even probably is.
If there was a 0, Meri would have answered that, definitely.
Which is why I think she didn't really get a match, because she's in Vegas putting a 1 to that answer.
True. But I think that this is important information to know if you're going to be matched with somebody. How do you prefer to do those kinds of things?
I think that's a weird question to even have on this dating thing, because you never know. Like somebody like Meri, she could be open to it. She doesn't know what that is.
Right. I mean, my assumption is that they're trying to at least match people who are more open to what other people are open to. And if you're saying a 1 on that, then they're just going to put you off limits for anyone who answered like 5 through a 7.
Right. And her soulmate could have answered 7.
That's true. Yeah.
You never know.
We never know.
You never know if you never tried. You never try if you never know.
And she never tried, so she'll never know.
Yep. We're going to go over to Kody, who is telling us about his beginnings of his apology tour. He is in North Carolina.
First of all, he asked her, "Are you feeling healthy?" Remember that?
He's really good about breaking the ice. But the weather.
In what way?
I'm just saying, that's what he even said. You got to break the ice a little bit, even if it's just the weather.
I know. He was not just talking about the weather. He included the humidity, the type of outfit he would wear to accommodate said weather. I guess you're right. He really can accentuate a small talk conversation. I think that's where him and Christine were a good match. They probably could have talked about the weather. And that's probably what sustained them for the last 10 years of their marriage.
Yeah, probably. They go to a restaurant that Janelle actually likes. So that's why she was like, okay, I'll go. I mean, if he's going to take me to this nice restaurant. And do you think he paid for it?
I think he should. But I like to assume the best in people. So I'm going to say yeah. I think yeah. Even though I wouldn't be shocked if they split it.
I mean, they did just get 50% of Coyote Pass. I would probably pay for it, Kody.
I agree. And you're going there to apologize and you invited her out. I feel like if you invite you out, I should at least offer to pay.
I get like if it's friends, but if it's like ex asking you to meet up just so they can apologize to you and whatever, and you're already flown all this way, you might as well pay for like $100 dinner.
Yeah, what's the difference? But I don't know. Maybe this man expected dinner from her.
Yeah, do you think the logistics of this is a little strange? Like, to me, the logistics is strange because he flies all the way to the Carolinas to stay in a hotel just so we can have this one dinner with Janelle.
Well, I wonder if he saw any of his kids while he was there, because he has a lot of kids in North Carolina, not just Janelle's kids either, but Christine's kids. And I don't think he has a good relationship with any of Christine's kids at this point, because I think at this point he was also on bad terms with McKelty.
Well, would we be shocked if he really didn't see his kids?
I wouldn't be shocked at all, but what a waste of a trip. I mean, just to have this dinner. I think it was needed and healing, yes, Janelle's going to call it, and I'm glad that it happened. But I understand his process of starting off with the moms, I guess.
Sure.
But you started off now with Janelle, and so why not spend 2 more days and ask her at this dinner, hey, do you know of anyone who has talked to you, maybe has softened up a little bit? Do you think anyone would be open to meeting with me? See if she has anything to say. At least reach out to your kids and say, I am in North Carolina. That might change something about their willingness to show up to a restaurant. Janelle has been so against talking to this man, considering a friendship, anything. And as we're going to see throughout this conversation, this woman is like melting into a puddle. I think everything's going to be peachy between them forever now because of this apology. I think that, I don't know.
He gets his little small talk, but then he goes right into it.
He does, yes. And of course, they drop out of there and they give us the rest of this terrible, awful dating experience. Although Meri found a polygamist man. And at first, I wasn't watching this part when I heard it. And I just heard this dude's a polygamist. And I looked up to him. The man was literally holding hands with 2 separate women, playing a game or something.
He could have been a real polygamist. He could be on Seeking Sister Wives next season. We don't know.
Oh, yeah. Maybe he was with his wife or whatever on Seeking. I see. Okay.
Kill 2 birds with 1 stone, TLC. Have them go to the same event.
I reckon. I mean, what a crossover. But they should have showed they were giving us this cool mashup.
Maybe we won't know till next season to Seeking Sister Wives.
What is this going on? Do you think these are lights or is this wallpaper?
I don't know.
I don't know either. It's
Vegas art. But
it's everywhere. Look.
Yeah, I think it's along the whole wall. It might just be an art piece. Just to know what it is or what it's for. But Meri and her friend did not get matches. Surprise, surprise.
Not a single match out of all those people there.
And then they're like, you know what? We'll just leave.
Yeah, they weren't interested in playing golf. Apparently, Amber's not a golfer. I don't know if Meri is either. I've never seen that woman go out golfing.
I doubt it. But she's probably just trying to try new things. They didn't want to experiment with the golfing at all. So I don't know why she chose that venue. But each their own. At least Meri's trying to get out there the organic way.
I still don't see this as organic. I remember that you had made the point last time that this is probably as organic as it's going to get. And I do agree with that too.
For Meri, for sure.
I mean, think organic is like what Janelle is looking for, going to a class or joining a club.
Right. But Janelle's joining classes and clubs that are predominantly women.
I don't think she's joining any classes or clubs. I think she's just talking about it. I don't think she's actually been about it yet.
Yeah, I think this is why Janelle's not going to meet anybody for a very, very long time.
She might go back to Kody before she meets somebody. I think those chances are higher at this point.
Even though I'm not really a fan of that, at the same time, I think they would have a better relationship than him and Robin if they tried to do it a second time around. Robin is giving him nothing.
I agree. And I think it would improve his relationship with Robin at this point, even though I agree that Robin has master manipulated this man into being monogamous. I think she's also now master manipulated her own brain into thinking that she wanted polygamy. And so I do think she is rejecting Kody to some capacity. We see her shudder when he kisses her. And I think if one of the wives came back, I think she would melt.
In a sense. Later, where Robin says something about, the portal of hope you just opened by asking me that question. I do think that was a bit of an act.
It was such an act, yeah.
But I'm not sure how willing she really is for those wives to come back, especially someone like Janelle, who they owe the money from their house, their house, their original house money, and somebody who's going to be looking at finances and where money's going. I don't know if she's really that open to it, but I also don't think she's open to anybody new. I think Robin just feels stuck.
I think Robin feels stuck too, but I don't know if things don't change with Kody, which we'll see if this apology tour does anything. I don't know if she'll be around forever.
I think she was more hoping that Meri would come back. Somebody Kody can ignore still and, siphon a little bit of money from.
Yeah, at the same time, he can siphon some money from Janelle, and Janelle is extremely independent.
With Janelle, they'd have to move. Where Janelle is, she ain't giving up that farmland.
No, I don't think so. I think they would make it work a different way.
Like a long distance way?
Yeah, or Kody would come stay for longer periods of time with Janelle and then still have his main house probably be Robin's, but that would be agreed upon from the beginning. I think Janelle would be okay with an arrangement as long as it was said to her and she wasn't being fed some BS. But I also think that none of this could ever happen unless Kody gets on good terms with Janelle's kids. She's not as clear about it in this episode as Christine is, But I think she feels very strongly about that too.
Yes, but I also don't think Kody could leave Robin for too long and their kids.
Not when the kids are young.
Yeah, them kids ain't even that young anymore.
The young ones. Because in 5 years, the young ones will be 15, 16, 17.
Solomon's got to be in middle school.
Right. Yeah.
They're not that young anymore.
No, but Kody, like you said, he will use them as an excuse until he literally can't anymore. So it's going to be 5-6 years.
Yeah. Anyways.
They peace out. They're not golfing. They're not dating. They're not having any fun, really. They don't even seem to be enjoying each other's company on this date. So I think it's time for them to go back home together. Mm-hmm. We pop into this little pickleball scene for a moment. And I really like Christine and David's relationship and their banter. So I thought that this was cute. I'm glad they didn't spend too much time on it, but I thought that it was cute. Everybody knows that Christine's a cheater. So it's just funny to see that working into the relationship here too. That's been like a running storyline that Christine cheats in every single game that they play.
And she still loses. Well, the funny thing is that online, this has really caused quite a little stir that I saw. People were saying that this shows that David and Christine's relationship is a little manipulative, that he wanted to paddle that ball to an area that made her run and work for it. And I saw a post where they're kind of popping off about their relationship, that he is kind of mean to her, that he has like his specific thought and he's got to double down on it. They said the whole season, it kind of just showed like how their relationship really ain't that great. I don't know. I do think that they were so hot and heavy to begin with. And sometimes that kind of relationship works out and sometimes it doesn't, because after a while things change and you start to get to know somebody a lot more and whatever.
You always come out of the honeymoon phase for sure. And they got married at the peak of their honeymoon phase. They were like in love and infatuated and all of that. And I think those things are kind of wearing off and they're getting used to each other a little bit. Yeah. And David is boisterous. He's not a shy guy. He's not going to let Christine just boss him around and take the lead. I think Christine trash talk her own children playing games while cheating. So I think he's just a good match for her. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. I think the dynamics are a lot healthier than they ever were with Kody. And I think David seems great to me.
Now, do I think that Christine wasn't fully over her relationship with Kody before she got married? Probably not. I mean, she was with the man for 20-something years, almost 30 years.
I still don't think she's over it.
Yeah, I mean, that's why she don't want to meet with him, right? Because she's still kind of mad, or at least mad about some things. I don't think she's hiding for the man, but I think she's mad about stuff that has happened in their relationship and with their kids especially. But do I also think that she was probably vulnerable to somebody who could be manipulative? Sure. But I don't really think that we see enough of her and David's relationship to really gauge if he's like that or not. I think that he's just a joking kind of guy. I think he's an older guy. And sometimes older guys are just a different breed than the younger guys. They joke a lot and they have a whole different life that they've lived. But I don't think that he's
sure of himself. He has no reason to be manipulative to that extent to a woman. And again, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I'm just not seeing what.
And what we do see is of their relationship, so I can see where people get some of what they're thinking, is that they're asking them questions about Kody all the time and polygamy and things that David does have strong views on.
He does.
And I don't think we see like their day-to-day doing chores together, dishes or whatever. In that post that I saw, they even brought up the whole money thing, how he bullies her about the money she spends and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But I think he's also being realistic of this show's not going to go on forever. So we got to reevaluate where we're at financially, because soon it's just me bringing in money. Yeah,
especially at this period in their life. I mean, everybody at that stage in life is looking at how do we sustain financially through the rest of our life when we can't work as much as we're used to working, whether that's the TV show is going to cancel, or for David, he's not going to be able to work forever until he dies. I'm sure he had a nice retirement plan set up, as everybody does. And then here comes Christine and he has to work all of that in. She still has a child that has yet to go get a driver's license and graduate high school. And all of this stuff has to just get worked in. I think that these are normal conversations that are happening at normal times. And he's just a playful guy. Like, he's going to give you shit kind of guy. I think if things were going on that people were suggesting, Christine would not be buying 14 boxes from Amazon every single day, you know, if he was really making her feel some kind of way about it. He's truly giving her crap. And what man is not yelling at their wife, especially right now on December 12th, about how many boxes are showing up at the door? Okay, everybody's getting yelled at by their husbands about their boxes.
I think it's a normal thing to be concerned about. This whole pickleball thing, I think, was funny when people were like, well, he kept doing that on purpose, hitting the ball over there.
There was a gun to their head that they had to keep playing. They could have at any time said, F you. I'm not going to get it.
Yeah, it was her idea to play it.
He's picking on her.
Yeah.
They probably played pickleball for 10 minutes.
We're only seeing a glimpse of this, so she's not drenched in sweat or anything.
No.
And that makeup's wiped off the top a little. She could definitely do a few of these.
I'm sure she did, yeah. She got a couple runs in. I saw her have to exit that thing at least 2 or 3 times.
I would have been like, can we go to a different station, like right next to the damn door?
That's what she was screaming up. She's like, hit him over there. He was aiming. I thought it was funny. He was picking on her.
So then we get to them leaving the pickleball station and they're talking about Kody because Christine apparently got the same text Janelle did. Do you think Meri got one at the same time, or do you think he's just like, you know what, we'll just text these two? We'll see how that goes before we even contact Meri.
Yeah, I was thinking the same exact thing. I think he did actually do that, what you just suggested. And I think he wants to actually even see how everything goes with Christine, or at least if she agrees to it before he even asks about Meri. I think he is going in order of how comfortable he feels. And I wonder if David wasn't involved in the picture, if it would actually be flip-flopped, if Christine would be last. Because David is the one that's really pushing the peace and harmony here.
Yes, but I still think the order would be the same.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because it just seems like something about Meri, right? Like last season we thought they was friends. And now this season he's like, well, she nags and she's hard to deal with and blah, blah, blah. And
they've only been speaking through lawyers this whole season after we just saw her back that thing up into him last season. I agree. They're always up and down. They're very unpredictable. They seem to have always been that way, even before they started plural marriage, even before Janelle came around. Mm-hmm. At this point, Christine is letting us know that she has heard from Kody. She's not really sure what his intentions are and what he wants, but she does not intend to meet with him. And that is what she plans to talk to David about. So she's feeling really anxious. But she gives us a good reminder of some of the last conversations that we had. And of course, I could never allow this scene to be played without capturing it.
Man, just a knife in the kidneys.
Just a knife in the kidneys over all these years.
Over all these years.
For all these years.
Over all these years.
Yeah. But she does also let us know she talked to Janelle. And Janelle said the same thing. She got the olive branch and she's going to go hear him out.
He says too in his confessional at some point that he didn't let anyone know in his proposition that he was going to apologize, just that he had an olive branch.
I mean, so what else is that supposed to mean, though?
Like, that's what everyone has been trying to figure out. That's what Janelle was unclear of walking into this, and she's about to find out it's an apology. And even Christine is trying to figure that out with David while she decides if she wants to meet or not. I don't know. I just wish the man would be clear. I was happy with this apology, but we'll get into it. There's parts of it that true Kody is still right there.
So I get him not being like, I want to come out and apologize to you, because at that rate, you could just call them and do your apology.
True, and maybe they won't show up. They might say, F you.
Maybe they're like, maybe he's got like a check for me or something. For Christine, maybe it's some child support. For Janelle, maybe it's that money she gave Robin for her house. You know, I'd take that olive branch for sure.
Right.
I don't know about Meri, though. I don't know what, I mean, I'm sure he owes her money for something.
True. Kody does dive into his apology. He lets her know right away, I'm here to apologize. And you can see the surprise right away on Janelle's face. She does look like a deer in headlights for a second.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She said, wow, maybe 3 or 4 times.
She wasn't expecting it. Yeah. I feel like it's kind of what I would think he would do, unless he's coming there with a check for you. I don't think he's doing anything but apologizing or something. Who knows what? But
I mean, knowing Kody, he could have taken a plane or a train or a car all the way over there just to keep arguing with her. I wouldn't have put it past him.
Especially when they already called each other and said, I don't like you very much. I don't like you either.
We're not friends. Don't talk to me.
Yeah, but he does say that he's sorry for being so angry during the divorces. And she was like, yeah, I was just like, who is this person? And in the confessional doll, she's still like, I still don't know who he is.
I've always loved how Janelle can be logical and not super emotional. She's certainly gone through a process, especially this season, of letting us know that she wants to just cut off the emotional ties, that she's not really feeling them all that deeply, but she doesn't want to be connected to him in any kind of way either. She received this so well. Not that I would have expected anything else from her. I think she's just in a place where she's not affected by him anymore. She didn't like him because he was saying all this stuff, but if an apology is made, I think she's really in a place where she's ready to have some peace. She's been through so much pain and has so many other things to worry about. I think she's truly moved on from Kody, even though I think that there is a glimmer of hope. What is the hope thing?
Portal of hope.
I think there is a little portal of hope for Janelle as well. And if Janelle's portal and Robin's portal crisscross, that's a resurrection of Sister Wives.
I don't think the other two would come back, but
no, but the show would go on forever until we die.
Forever. There's nothing to film about with these people.
There would be if Janelle came back.
I don't know, even with that. She said she was really just mourning the ideal. She said ideal a lot. And I'm like, isn't it idea? I don't know. Maybe.
Well, she says amiable and amicable. She kind of like flip-flops those words around too. She has some words she uses, interestingly.
God bless her. But she says that she was more into the family than the relationship. And she thinks that maybe if it would have been more flip-flopped, they could have stood more of a chance. Although it sounds like from Kody's perspective, they got along very well. And that's why he feels so safe around her to apologize first. But he says that he was so angry about everything because he did care for them all, which I think that's kind of obvious.
Janelle said as much too. She's like, I knew. I should have counted. She must have said the phrase I knew 45 times in 3 minutes.
He's like, when I said I didn't love you, that's probably the worst thing I said. And that wasn't true. She's like, I knew.
I just knew. You know, because I knew. Because I just knew. I'm like, oh my Lord.
Because that's our relationship that we had. I just knew, you know?
Yeah. Oh man. And this is when Kody gets in his confessionals and does the whole, we used to be lovers and we used to really like being around each other.
Obviously, this wasn't your relationship with everybody because you're just signaling Janelle out here.
I have always noticed, and Kody commented and kind of confirmed this in this episode as well, that Kody and Janelle did always have this kind of sweetness or tenderness about the way that they spoke to each other, the way that they just were around each other. They didn't have to flirt or be touchy, but the tone that Janelle had with Kody was always sweet and soft. Kody, I've never seen him get an attitude as much with Janelle, except for in those final episodes around Christmas with the big arguments and all of that. Right. But they did have a tender relationship, and it seems like they had a healthy sex life. I mean, they had at least that going. Their finances were taken care of. Janelle felt good enough until he started messing with the kids.
Yeah. And he did say that tenderness started in their relationship because when he married her, he barely knew her. But I'm like, when you married all of them, you barely knew them. We learned from Meri, you only knew her for 2 months before engagement, 6 months total. Christine was like a couple months. I mean, I think he knew of Christine the longest according to her book, but they were just friends.
Right.
And then Janelle just a couple months, and she was like your sister-in-law at one point. So
no, she was Meri's sister-in-law.
The same thing, right? I mean, in a sense.
I guess for a moment, yes.
And his stepsister at one point too. She was a sister in every way. He was sister wife, a step sibling, and a sister-in-law.
That's true. Wow.
It was nice that he went back and apologized for, I guess, Meri, right? I mean, what else was he apologizing for when he was like, the way you treated in the beginning and me not standing up for you? I mean, it sounds like he wished he would have just took Meri down, gave her the old wrestling pad treatment.
Right. Or at least, I mean, it seems like he really just sort of sided with Meri and didn't.
Probably was easier. Meri was bitchier. So he's like, I better.
Of course. And Janelle says as much too. She says that she just stood down and took out different aspects of her personality so that she could fit in the house. And if Meri had a lot of emotions and a lot of personality, that made Janelle probably the logical one that she has always been, that we've always seen her as.
Yeah. Which made Kody love her more than Meri.
I think so. And I think that's where that tenderness probably came into play for them that didn't come into play for the others, because Janelle was probably like a reprieve from Meri because they were already tumultuous. And then here comes Janelle, and at least she has a reason to be kind.
Janelle was like Meri's little punching bag probably when she first got there. And I got to give Meri the benefit of the doubt. It's got to be hard to share your husband at that young, ripe age of 20 something.
Right. Even if you agree to it. I mean, we watched on Seeking Sister Wives, and I know that's totally different. It's not religious and kind of forced in the way that they kind of seem that they felt forced into it in a way. But jealousy is a natural emotion. It doesn't matter if you choose to do that. I mean, just because you choose something doesn't mean you're not entitled to the emotions you feel when you do it. That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I think that there was a lot of jealousy. I think Janelle said that too, insecurity and all kinds of stuff that they were dealing with. And I think in that situation, like I have said a lot, Kody has always needed to be the patriarch of the family. That's what his religion set him up to do. That's why he said you need to marry all these women so that you can be the top of this food chain and be a leader. It's going to make you better, a better man, a better leader, whatever. You know, that's their ideas, at least. Seems like he never rose to that occasion. He had all the kids and he took care of them good enough, but he never really orchestrated a good family cohesion. Right. I don't know if that's possible. I know his friend that married the sister, he seemed to do a good job.
The Dargers. Yeah. That man. Yeah, they talk about how she was pregnant with Logan and came running after him one day in the mountains like, do you love me? That's actually the most I've heard of Janelle even being like that. But he said that kind of stuck with him because he wished he would have did more for her. And I'm wondering if at that point things were just so bad with Meri because, you know, Meri was having such a hard time conceiving a child. And then here Janelle is pregnant. I'm sure that when that happened, right as Christine's coming in, that's probably the peak of Meri's jealousy. I mean, she's getting a whole other sister wife now. the one she's already struggling with is pregnant. She's having problems getting pregnant. I can only imagine what
and
kind
they
of
lived in a trailer, like a trailer home.
They could hear
and
everything.
The walls were paper thin. I'm sure they didn't even all have their own bedrooms at that time. What kind of trailer home has 3 bedrooms? 4? I mean, maybe 3. I guess
Maybe
that's
3.
pretty standard. But
yeah, but they
Man.
definitely had. He definitely was just going through like a hallway like this big to
right,
get
like
to get to him.
And who gets that really nice one in the back with the big bathroom? You know, who gets that one?
I'm guessing
Maybe
Meri
Kody
at
had it.
first.
Maybe he pulled a Garrick and they had sister.
Oh no, he did not pull a Garrett. That man never had a room to himself. Ever.
No, he never did. He wanted one so bad.
I bet if he watched Garrick, he'd be like, "How did he get that?"
I know.
Like,
he's probably really trying to get some pointers because I think sometimes Kody considers himself open to getting more sister wives. Anyway, so this is when actually the portal of hope opens up a little bit. And I do have to apologize to you sister wives watchers. I don't have a photo of Robin reacting to this. But this is when the producer shakes up Robin's world because Janelle is in her confessional and she's wondering, I'm happy to have this apology, but I'm also still a little bit confused because he seems like he's really trying to connect, and I don't know if he's trying to have a reconciliation. And it seems like she didn't even know how she would have responded to that in the moment. She was trying to figure that out in the confessional, but they cut to Robin right away. And the producers ask, how would you feel if one of the other sister wives were to want to come back to the family? And this woman could not even form words.
Yeah, her face said a lot before her mouth did. Her face was like,
excuse me? You said what?
Don't say that. You're giving me hope.
She said, I cannot even be on the set. I will break down with hope. It's dangerous.
Dangerous.
Oh my God. Get a grip.
Which makes me even maddest for Meri when Robin was giving her that rope of hope, whatever she was doing. Yeah. She said for so many years, it's like you couldn't even fathom the idea of hope for just a moment about a wife coming back, which they're probably not going to do that.
I know, and you dangled this carrot in front of Meri for a whole damn decade. This rope of hope. And now you know how it feels. So I think she's getting every little bit that she deserves. And I hope the producers continue to ask her every single apology because we got 2 more coming. How would you feel if Meri came back? How would you feel if Christine came back? And just break this woman down until she walks off the set.
Well, we know Christine's not going back, but I do think that this was a great acting job by Robin. Not that great because her face couldn't act, but her mouth did.
Her mouth moves so weirdly.
You could definitely tell the question took her by surprise.
It totally did. Definitely. And we go back over to Meri for kind of a sad scene, but ultimately the storyline, I think, carries on this really good and supportive relationship between Jen and Meri, except this time we see Meri supporting Jen. They're talking about Jen's husband has been diagnosed with some kind of cancer and he's been going through treatments. And I know that she talked about this a little bit on social media. I don't know if it coincided with this episode or if it's something that people already knew, but they're going to do a fundraiser for her. And they kind of preface this like, I was scared for Jen to show up. I'm like, what's wrong with Jen? What did she do? Did she say something online about Meri? Are they having an argument? Come to find out they're doing a fundraiser and Jen doesn't really like to receive help like this, which, okay, fine. But I thought that was a little bit of a dramatic opening. Did
you give side-eye Meri for a second when Jen sat down? They're like, oh, how are you? And then Meri's like, better than you. I was like, girl.
Let's help her, yes, but let's not remind her at every turn of the corner why she needs help and that she's in a bad place. Maybe that's why she doesn't want to receive help from you.
Well, and I know Jen kind of chuckled about it and laughed it off. I think that's kind of the relationship they have, but I'm still like, girl, like that.
I know. I think you're right. I think for them, it was even kind of an icebreaker to kind of even open the door. This is what we're going to talk about.
Look at Meri in her little young outfit, her little 20-something outfit, her little tank top and her little short shorts.
I know. And her friend
really having her glow up, isn't she?
She is. She got her little pixie hair and all of that.
What is the weather over there? Her friends in layers, and Jen, I think's got a long sleeve on too. Like, what is the weather? Yeah. Everyone's else got layers or something. Whatever.
Meri's hot-blooded, I guess.
Anyway, I did feel bad for Jen because she did look pretty broken and stuff. You can tell she's in a really hard place in her life. And I liked their idea, going bike riding and having people rent from her store and then having a breakfast. I really thought that was a sweet idea.
I think so too, especially because it not just gets people renting that day, but then people can go in the store and they might come back and rent more or buy things or bring their bikes there. So I thought that it was a good way to incorporate their business. And I think that kind of takes some of the shame that people feel unnecessarily when they're given money, that they at least have this business that can sort of exchange something for the money. So yeah, I thought that it was a really nice idea to do breakfast and a bike ride. And we also find out too that Ron is coming.
Which is why I was like, why did we even do I mean, maybe she thought she'd find somebody else that she was interested in.
Maybe, yeah,
but
better do. But this is the thing. She's been looking for a friend, and come to find out, she has been talking to Ron for a couple of weeks, and they're becoming friends. So I agree so much. I just wish that whole speed dating thing was cut out. It was not enjoyable to watch. They didn't do anything. They didn't interact with anyone. I didn't learn anything new. I already knew Meri's not kinky. I already knew, given in a setting in golf, she's not going to be the first one to jump up, especially when her friend is also shy. And she's certainly not going to match herself with anyone at a speed dating event without being matched with them, even though she wants to meet organically. So
yeah, we know her preferences. We know she's not going to date no one named Kody or whatever they said in the beginning. So
nothing new happened out of this. So
right. Could have been an email, but
could have been, should have been.
Could have been an email. But they give Jen a little hug from behind. It's not fair for her. She hates this for her. And I think we all hate this for Jen and anybody going through this. Such a hard diagnosis to go through. I'm glad that they are still giving her support, even though she is trying to refuse it. But sometimes you just got to be that friend.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to show up. And I will give that to Meri. I think she does a really good job of showing up for the people in her life. I was even really impressed with how she handled Garrison's passing and everything. She just called Janelle and she didn't ask her any questions or what she needed or do you want me to. She just said, I'm coming, I'm bringing food, and I'm going to be there. And I think that that's the most important thing for anyone in a relationship to do, is to just be able to show up.
Yeah, I know like half of this episode is insinuating that Meri was such a sore in Kody and Janelle's relationship. But at the same time, I think when push comes to shove, Meri's the first one to act and get something done.
Well, I think she's come a long way too. And I'm not saying she's perfect. I think her coming a long way was from coming from really far out too. But I do think she's come a long way.
Right.
So we do jump back into Janelle and her apology from Kody. And Kody is going over the history of the before and what happened with Meri and all of that and apologizing. I think we went through a lot of this.
Yeah, we pretty much already touched on it. But I will say the one thing I was missing from this apology thing, which I think I was starting to say earlier, but I didn't finish, is anything to do with her kids and Garrison other than when she brought it up. I think he could have apologized for not really being there for her so much with Garrison. I don't think he did enough for her at that time. Especially when she was so gracious by letting him do his little pilgrimage like he's on right now. Like everything's a pilgrimage.
His fake pilgrimage. And yeah, he's on a second pilgrimage now.
Yeah. And I think she also could have brought up, I accept these apologies and these are great, but what are you going to do forward about these kids? I wish she would have asked, because I think that's where she dropped the ball. Is I know she was so enamored with the apologies and it seemed like she was really taking that in and off guard. But I still think there was a moment where she could have been like, okay, well, you said this to me, but are the kids next? You know, you've hit up Christine. I'm sure you're going to hit up Meri. But what about these kids? Are we going to start reaching out to these kids? Like, how can we work towards a better relationship for these kids?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I hope that was something that just wasn't filmed, but I can't imagine why they would cut that. Maybe she just didn't have a lot of time to prepare. It seems like this happened. Christine had some more time, obviously, to talk about it and to talk to somebody else about it. But
I really hope it comes up with Christine. I think it will.
Well, it will, because there's actually a bonus scene and she talks about what she plans to talk to Kody about, and it is about the kids. So she is going to bring it up unless she miraculously forgets, but I think that's part of what David is there for too. But yeah, I was disappointed because I know a lot of Janelle's reasoning for really actually leaving and not just staying separate but still married or whatever was because of his treatment of boys, especially, and seeing how all that played out even after the separation with Garrison. Not suggesting anyone is at fault, but I think a stronger family could have maybe helped him.
And I get Kody thinks that the moms are the reason the kids have this feeling towards him. So if he just starts there, it might get better. But you still have to have like a game plan for your kids. I mean, they are separate entities from their mom, especially when they're adults.
If that's your plan, is to do this with the moms to get to the kids, I think at the end of the apology, you should make your intentions about that known too. I'm glad we could have this conversation. Thank you for accepting my apology. I plan to have a sit down with all of my kids. Is there anyone you suggest I start with? Since obviously I'm starting with the easy people, which I also thought was BS. And I'll get into my rant about that when it comes up. But we hop back over to Christine for her final conversation with David about will she or won't she meet up. She said the thing about the olive branch, but she doesn't really know what that means exactly. And she's really inclined to not want to meet with him. I mean, again, we went through the knife in the kidney scene this episode.
Man, Just the knife in the kidneys.
And all of that. There's just not been a lot of good going on between the two of them. But David does reassure her. He says that he's going to be there, and if anything goes down, he's going to be able to help. And I think Christine says at some point, like, "Oh, David will lose his mind if Kody talks to me a certain way." And I believe that. I mean, I don't think any husband who cares about his wife is going to let anyone talk to his wife in any kind of sideways fashion. So we get a bonus scene. Imagine my surprise. I mean, getting this deep into the episode, and I'm watching the bonus scene episode, and I'm sitting there like, did I miss the bonus scenes? Like,
I was just gonna say, was there other ones?
Like, there's still another one after this, and they're quite long. But yeah, it took a long time to get into them. So the first one is between Christine and David. It extends this conversation, and David essentially asks her, you know, you're going to have this conversation with him. I'm going to be present. What is it that you want to do out of this conversation? And she says she wants to feel comfortable. She wants to have value, and she wants to present herself well so that she can advocate for her kids on behalf of her kids. So her whole plan in going in is so that she can focus on the relationship with her kids, because she is very far from interested in the relationship with Kody. But again, she doesn't know that she has an apology to accept. So I think she might soften up on maybe a friendship, or at least like an acquaintanceship. Right now, she doesn't want the conversation to focus on anything but the kids, and that makes a lot of sense. So David encourages her. He said, if that's what you want, then that's what you're going to do. I don't know why you're, waffling around here. Just set those intentions and tell him you're going to meet, and go there and do that, and I'll be there. So he also hangs out in the confessional with us for quite a while. I don't know if the producers cut him and splice him up to make him sound like he can't form a full sentence or a full thought, or if he really just talks like that a little bit. But I took these almost picture for picture. So I will read these to you guys. You let me know if I'm just missing the point. But he says, I hope that's what nobody ever wants, to tear up kids or family and stuff. I mean, that's what started the whole deal. The breakup is, well, you hurt my feelings, and how do we deal with it? And it all got really bigger than it needed to be. And, like I said, the kids get involved in it, because kids do play a major role into it. I mean, go back.
What's weird is I get the point, but it's like, what?
That's why I'm like, did you get edited, or do you talk like this? Because he's making, a point, but he said 17 different sentences. So that could have been an email.
Well, the kids are involved in it, so it's kind of hard to uninvolve the kids in it.
That's literally this point.
So I get what he's saying. And I do actually appreciate that David isn't like this kind of guy where he's like, I don't really want you to meet with your ex and I'm coming, whatever. It sounds like he's really just coming to be a support and like be a witness. To make sure
she shows up.
Yeah, because otherwise I don't think Christine would go on her own. But it sounds like he's more of like a witness or something. Like he's just there to be there, but he's not really going to interfere in the conversation.
And I love a man like that. It sounds like he's like, we're going to go. I'm going to make sure that you say everything that you want to say, and I'm going to be quiet and, hold your coat.
And he even seems to have some grace for Kody. Like said at one point, people change, and maybe this is just part of that change. And I think though, especially with Christine having Truly, that it's very important for them to at least try to have this conversation. So I get what David's saying about the kids are involved and kids. But I do think that if Kody was truly changing, he would be trying to see Truly more often, considering she's the only other minor. But that, could just be wishful.
I agree 100%. It almost contradicts, it fully contradicts Kody's ideas here when he's not actively trying to see Truly. Truly is the only other minor. So
but he has like a room in his house for Truly possible.
I wonder if she's even ever been in the new house yet, if she's even visited yet. And especially in Truly's case, it probably would feel better for Truly if there was a better relationship between Christine and Kody, because then there could be some communication and I think a lot more comfort. But, Christine has always been the champion of these family reunions. Like she said, from the day she said, I'm leaving Kody, in that same chair on the same day, she said, I hope one day we can all get together again. So I get why she's so reluctant to talk to Kody, because Kody has been so ridiculous and rotted her brain, like she said. But I mean, at the same time, this is what you want. And you spent a long time. David even said as much to her. You did not marry this guy because he was a horrible guy. You guys had, good memories. You have these children that you share together. You don't have to be best friends, but let him extend an olive branch. Just at least be open to sitting across the table.
Yeah, let's go to the family reunion and I'll stay out the mosh pit.
Yeah, he said, he said he was going to tackle people or something.
Yeah, he kind of lost me around there, but I think he was trying to make a joke. I applaud Christine for wanting to do the family reunion, but Christine wants it. Janelle's okay with it. Mary's probably like, well, it just depends how everybody gets along, whatever. Like, I don't think it matters if I show up or not. But Robin's all like, it's not safe.
I know. She's the only one who's scared still.
She's so like, it's not safe.
I think it would take an apology from Christine to Robin, which would never happen. I don't think Robin is entitled to one, but I think she's not.
I think the person who should go on an apology tour next is Robin.
I agree.
Wouldn't that be wonderful? I would tune in for that.
Yeah.
You could maybe have a season 21 for that TLC, the Robin apology tour. She can bring her little mini Sobbins with her and they can be chirping in the background like, sorry.
I agree, actually. I would tune in every single Sunday at 10 p.m. sharp.
Yeah.
So we get our final round of Janelle's apology, and Kody and her are having a little bit of a reflection and a chit chat post apology. Kody asks the most audacious question I think that he could ever ask, which is, do you think our relationship was basically doomed from the beginning, or do you think there was ever any saving our relationship? Which implies to me that it wasn't just an acute problem or like a one thing that happened here. Like, he's asking, did we ever really have a chance?
He said, was it inevitable for us to break up?
Yeah. Inevitable based on what? Because you were so in love with your shy, pretty wife?
I honestly think that's when it became inevitable, is when you favored another wife. And I think that they all said that.
Yeah. Janelle didn't really allude to Robin at all, but she did say at some point there was sort of a point of no return. And then they flashed over to this Christmas episode where he had Janelle in this tiny little college town apartment with this tiny little Christmas tree. This
was right stockings on the wall. That's how
I know. She has how many stockings and children, and she is in a 1-bedroom apartment.
And not a single name on them stockings either.
It's just insanity. And then to think that after this, she moved all these stockings and all this stuff into a damn tramper.
Well,
I don't know if it's a trailer camp or whatever.
I don't remember if it's this episode or the one before where she mentions getting that thing back, but I think it was the one before, because as you guys probably realized, we didn't do a recap last week. She said something about how it was cheaper for her to pay someone to bring it to her than it was for her to go get it and drive it back. But yeah, I mean, yeah, she moved some of the stuff in that camper, but I'm sure most of it was in storage.
Yes.
There ain't no room in that thing.
So this is the part that pissed me off. I was sitting here just softening, thinking, oh, what a great apology, Kody. I've actually never seen you take any kind of accountability. Yeah. And then here comes that snake of a man slithering out of your pores because you never can really kill him. And he wants to sit here always and make these women compare themselves to each other.
Like David has said about polygamous men. This only proves David's point of
I know, David's not wrong. Just because he's boisterous about it, he doesn't let anyone forget it. I mean, he's not saying nothing that's untrue. He's
you
not
get the high honor, Janelle.
Gross. And do you know what Janelle does? She freaking melts into a puddle on the floor about it. She's just eats it right up, just like she always has. Kody has a way of making these women not only feel special, especially Janelle, but want to feel special. Janelle could have cared less about this man an hour ago. And now she gets the high honor of being the safest ex-wife, just like Meri had the high honor of being the favorite ex-wife. And these women just melt into a damn puddle, each of them.
And Janelle more so than Meri. Meri was kind of like, okay, sir. Let's see.
She was excited about it for a minute.
Sure, for a minute.
Everyone say hi.
For a whole solid minute. And I wonder if when watching this back, Mary's going to be like, okay, so she gets the high honor and I get the low honor of being the last nag ex-wife that he's got to apologize to. Even below married Christine, who's got to bring a whole other man with her.
Honestly. She does. Featuring David. I love the apology tour program that TLC posted.
Yeah.
Like the actual dates and everything. And it's and for Christine's, it's a 2-part event. It says featuring David Woolley. I think they did a wonderful job with that. I almost couldn't even believe it was real when I saw it.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yes. So we do get our final pretty long bonus scene of the episode, and it comes right towards the end. Kody goes a little bit into some more apology and explanation. I almost wonder if this happened more towards the beginning of the conversation. I can't quite figure out why it's right here. He shares with her that sometimes he talks to his younger self and tells his younger self that he didn't protect the things that he had that were sacred with Janelle, like the tenderness that they had and the way that they communicated with each other. He didn't protect any of those things because he allowed Meri and all the toxicity to sort of seep into it. So he says, I don't sit and beat myself up about it, but I do tell myself that it's an ultimate consequence of myself not protecting the relationship and that I need to really bear the consequence instead of beat myself up about it, which I thought was pretty rational. And then he says, I really actually need to not just bear it, but take it with some stoicism and a little bit of dignity and not throw a fit. But he says it's kind of late for me to not throw a fit because I did this. Look at the necklace.
Someone made a comment about all the necklaces he's been wearing lately.
He looks like Count Olaf in Series of Unfortunate Events. He's just totally lost his mind here. He says, I've obviously already thrown my fits and denied ever loving you all, but obviously that was a lie. And at that point, Janelle actually cops up to some of her own mistakes in the marriage and says, I wasn't actually on my best behavior at the time either. Kody says that he has started to think about his ex-wives in the way that when your kids are really upsetting you, that you think about your kids when they were like 3 years old and so cute and precious. And he says, so when my ex-wives upset me, I try to think about the honeymoon phase and how happy we were. I think Kody has a stupid way of explaining things as usual, but I think that there's something to this. It's kind of even what David was explaining to Christine earlier. You didn't marry this guy because he's an asshole. You married him because he's a good guy. Think about those kinds of things. So I think he's explaining the same thing, but he always just has the stupidest way. And you can even see on Janelle's face, she's going from melting and smiling to, are you digging yourself a hole here? What is it that's going on? And he brings up Vegas and how that was also a good memory that he can reflect upon, but brings it again full circle, thankfully, finally, that he has been a jackass for a very long time. He would like to just lay it all on the line and say that he's sorry to her. And it brings out yet another apology from Janelle and says she's also done some things, especially since they broke up, that probably weren't too kind. So she apologizes for those things as well and says that she has been angry at times, but she really feels like this whole thing has been healing and nice. And he thanks her again. And then he makes this weird comment with the face like this. And he says, it makes me think that you've moved on pretty well because you're taking all of this so well. And I don't know if he's insinuating that he thinks she has a man or what.
I mean, he's fishing.
I think he was looking for something. He's like, otherwise you'd be like, rah, rah, rah. But I mean, isn't that how Christine is? And she's happily married off.
Yeah, so kind of.
I think he has that all wrong. But Janelle lets him know, I really didn't know what to expect today. So what you said just kind of caught me off guard. And I'm happy to receive the whole thing. It's been a really nice and healing thing to experience. We also get a bonus confessional from her after that. And she talks a little bit more about the early days too, and says that what really most surprised her about this whole apology was his apology about the early days, and that she actually tries really hard not to think about those things often because of how tough they were. And I really want Janelle to write a damn book because she's thinking about this stuff now. So just use it to your advantage, get it out on paper, make some good money off of it.
And it seems like Christine glossed over some of those.
I think so. Well,
even though she knows when she came in, it kind of equalized things more. So she doesn't have that experience Janelle has of coming in and being the first wife to come in. That was probably worse. But I do think Christine glossed over a few things. And I think part of that is because not really her story to tell, or Janelle's and Meri's story to tell. She does say some things about Meri in that book, but most of it is about her relationship with Meri and her kids and blah, blah. But it sounds like Meri and Janelle, and we've been shown this a bunch of times. There was that Thanksgiving where they went to therapy and tried to decorate together.
Yeah, and that was a real effort on both of their ends just to tolerate each other's presence. Meri was reaching out to Janelle, like, can we try to be friends? And then Janelle had to think about it. And then they had to schedule something. It was a lot. They had multiple therapy sessions about it.
Yeah, they had to pretend to be each other and role play. It was fun.
Yeah, and Janelle says in this episode, when she said this before, that her and Meri just would never be friends, you know, organically. The only reason they have a relationship is because of this. It remains the same. Even though they're not married to the same guy anymore, I think the little bit of a relationship they've had is only because of their history.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend, right?
Definitely. And I don't foresee them rekindling much. The episode does wrap up a little bit here. We are disappointed, obviously, that Janelle did not bring up any of her children or the relationship with them, but she does bring up Garrison. I think there must have been a lot of healing around what went on with Garrison between Kody and Janelle, or at least just a lot of forgiveness, because she seems really open, understandably so, to having Kody around and involved in all of this.
I think that kind of started here, in a sense. It seemed like she jumped off of this and was like, oh, yeah, by the way, I do have this.
Maybe she was going to go alone by herself because she was filling out half the paperwork already. She told him it was halfway done.
Yeah.
She does invite him to go, and he asks if everyone else is going or what kind of thing it's going to be. And she says it could just be low key and be the two of them. So he agrees to it. And
let's do it. Let's go.
I know he's so serious and intense about it. I mean, it is a somber thing, but So serious.
And this is the first time I've even seen food this whole time. So did most of this conversation happen before the food got there? Because I know there would have been a random clip of Kody licking a knife.
It must have. I did see at the beginning of this scene, Janelle was eating a couple bites too, because she was saying a couple things, or Kody was saying something, but they were just showing her mouth wide open. So I didn't want to do her like that. So they did eat, but it was just the last scene, at least, that they showed food around. And it actually looked like at the end, if I'm remembering right, that they didn't even really finish their meals. Like Kody took one giant big bite and then got up when they got up to leave, if I'm remembering like that.
Especially in this to-go box for his hotel, because it seemed like he didn't get much food in. He was talking so much.
Janelle's happy. She's happy that they're going to be able to go and do the headstone for Garrison. And Kody's narcissistic ass hops right into the confessional to let us know that he has needed this for the last 4 years. Not anyone else, just him.
Whatever gets you doing it, I guess, buddy, because I think everybody needed it. I'm not discounting that he needed to do it. I think he did. Right. I think he was just he almost him more than anyone, because he was so angry. He let it anger his whole soul. Yeah. But I do think he owed it to these women too. I mean, he wanted them to believe. I think if he said,
I've needed to do this for 4 years, I could get behind that wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Maybe had he done it 4 years ago, his family would be a different scenario. He might have kids that are talking to him. He might have been able to be there better for Garrison.
He might not even be on this damn apology tour, because he'd probably have a lot less to apologize for.
If he just would have handled the situation with a lick of grace with Christine.
Just a little bit, but none from Kody Brown.
All the things he likes to lick and shit on TV too, like the forks, Robin's face, all kinds of crap. Like I think he would just give a little lick for
just some grace.
Just some grace.
But no, Kody has no grace. He has no class. He has no pizzazz, no finesse, nothing.
He has no iron either for his shirt.
None of that. Not an iron. He's got a couple of necklaces, and he's got a hope that his other two exes that see a little bit more through his BS than Janelle ever has will receive his apology as well. I think they probably will soften and come around eventually.
I don't know about Meri. It might take her a minute, you know.
Man, you know what? I wouldn't blame Meri either, because we know Janelle went to a nice restaurant. We see previews for a nice restaurant. And why did this man take her out to a public park?
He always does this to Meri. He always takes her outside in the woods.
Every time, like he's a creepy serial killer.
And the thing is if you're the most concerned about Meri being mean and stuff, why would you take her to a public place in case she yells at you or whatever? So there's witnesses.
Honestly, like, give me a break, bud. You're really doing it to yourself with Meri at this point.
He broke up with her at a picnic bench. He's going to apologize to her.
He said, I think that answers the question about did he pay for lunch for Janelle, because he said, I'm not paying for anything for this salty birch Meri. I'm taking her on a picnic. She can bring her own sandwich.
I even wonder if he paid for the dinner with David and Christine. I mean, I can't see David letting him pay the bill for him.
Just my opinion. I think it would be appropriate for him to offer. And I think David would probably say it. No,
I got us too. Yeah. Yeah, I got us, but thanks, bud.
Yeah, but I ain't paying.
Okay, so this must happen on the two-parter then, where we see him and David actually hanging out.
It must, unless this happens after the apologies. Maybe after the apologies, there's room for hanging out. I also know after the apologies, Kody's going to give Robin even a little apology. So maybe there's an episode or two afterwards. After the apology tour, he looks at Robin and says, you know who else I owe an apology to is you.
Oh my goodness. That just negates all the other apologies.
Agreed. I'm glad he did it afterwards, though. I think he did it afterwards. I mean, maybe
he did it first. To go through all of this just to look at the woman you didn't screw over and be like, oh, you an apology to. I get he was angry at home, but at least he was angry at home. He owes her
an apology for his actions the last couple of years. But I think also he lied to her. Like, he set her up a little bit in this whole, I'm this great guy and I'm in love with all my wives. And, he clearly was not all that in love with Meri. I know that he loved all of those women at some point, but when Robin entered the family, I think he did swindle her a little bit into thinking things were peachier than they were. Because things were not peachy at the same time she entered the family. I think she did take a lot more undue heat than she needed, although I do find her responsible as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it negates everything he just did.
I agree.
He could have apologized to her off camera. It would have been,
I know. Yeah.
I'm sure he has already millions of times. You can tell her sorry at any point.
He should have, We do have some previews for the next episode. Janelle's friend is going to get a little bit of a download on what happened with the apology, and she's going to ask her if she would ever go back to Kody. And it looks like she's considering her answer, but I doubt that she's considering. I'm sure she's going to say no. Guessing she's probably going to move forward with the spiritual release here pretty soon too. So we are also going to see Ron in Parowan for the first time. He's coming for the fundraiser for the bike. And then we are also going to see Christine and Kody start their conversation off sitting down with David. So we will see how that goes. It is a 2-part thing, so I know they're going to leave us on some kind of cliffhanger at the end of that episode. But we will be here to cover it all with you, at least through the apology tour.
And I bet you on either part 1 or 2, Meri finally gets her text about Kody.
Yes, hopefully. I hope he doesn't just show up. Maybe that's part of the reason they're at the park, because maybe he didn't have time to make a reservation anywhere. Maybe he just showed up and said, I'm here, take it or leave it.
No, he always takes Meri out. He thinks she loves the trees. But
I mean, he thinks she loves the trees.
He does. He has it in his mind that Meri belongs in the trees. Like Mary's a damn animal out here. She just belongs in the woods.
Yes, I mean, remember that clip from a couple seasons ago when she was like trouncing into Kody and Robin's house, the one they just sold, and like Sasquatching through the trees. I think we have a short that's actually called Meri Through the Trees.
Yeah, they didn't even plow their driveway for her. She just crawled up that thing.
She did too. She did a good job.
But anyways, thank y'all for joining us. We will be back next week to talk again about Sister Wives.
Yes, we will. We'll be very excited to see you. So please tune in. Don't forget to like and leave your comments. What did you think of the very first apology? How are you feeling about Janelle? Do you think she's going to bring her way back into the Sister Wives family?
She's going to go through the portal of hope. We'll find out next episode.
We'll see you all next time. Don't forget to share, click the copy button, and yes.
Producer Rihanna, and goodbye.